Okay, Lady Ada, what is this?
This is Show and Tell. Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters where we've got our weekly Show and Tell, like we do every week at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Me, Lady Ada, Mr. Lady Ada. The background, the lovely Adafruit factory, sitting here quiet, waiting for you, the viewer, to come by and tell us what you're up to. We're going to be here for the next 20, 25 minutes. We got to get out of here at 7:50. I'm going to call on some Adafruit peeps and then some visitors. Take 2 to 3 minutes to show off your project and keep your mic muted in between. Let's kick it off with Scott in the pycon shirt.
Hello. You can just see my shirt. I'm doing a floating camera. That's why it's a different angle. I was going to use that one and it's strapped to the monitor arm, so I had to get another one. Anyway, what I'm working on is I think I showed it last weekend or last week, maybe not, the gaming handheld that Lamore's designed.
I think you showed it, but it wasn't doing anything.
Oh, well, guess what?
If only it was doing something.
If only it showed a static image instead of nothing. Okay, so Celeste is a great game. If you haven't played Celeste, you should play Celeste. They prototyped on a fantasy console called Pico 8. And what I've got working is loading all of the sprite and map data, tile map data from the Pico 8 file on the device. So you can see, I don't know how to turn the...
Yeah, it looks like an underground map of some sort.
Yeah, I had to turn the light off.
Okay.
Yeah, so Celeste is a platformer, so you can see the character there, and you move from the left to the right, to the top right, so you have to jump up. As I said, the buttons don't work, so I can't actually show you anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's one of the next things. I'm actually working on getting the Lua code that Pico 8 uses converted to Python code and adding all of the calls and stuff that it uses to render the game. And then ideally we'll have classic Celeste on the gaming handheld, whatever we call it. And if you have ideas on what we should call it, tell us on Discord.
All right. Good plug for Discord. Yeah. And then don't forget CircuitPython 3.0 release candidate.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll be celebrating 1 year on Discord.
And 1 year on Discord tomorrow.
Yeah.
Totally.
It never ends.
In the running for the naming of this arcade platform is Arcada. It's okay. It's pretty solid, but...
And Game Boa.
And Game Boa.
I like Arcada. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay. So, but it's still open. You never know.
It's firming up like Jell-O.
The only way to get good ideas is to get lots of ideas. So
yeah, and it's super early.
Okay, throw the ideas out. Okay, Mike
Thanks
B.
So much, Thanks all.
Hello.
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 So, for the last month or so, I've started working with Capsela, one of Lady Ada's favorite childhood memories, I'm told. So this is a little bot I built with the 1000 kit. It has the most parts, and so I found the more parts you have, the easier it is to build something that actually you want to build. So you notice on top here, this is not Capsela because this is Crickit with the Circuit Playground Express on top, and there's a battery underneath that. And so rather than just be on and off, I can speed up the motor, slow it down, reverse the motor with the slide switch, and I can also have like neopixels and other stuff going. So it's been rather fun. These little hobby motors lend themselves really well to control with Crickit because it's just the right kind of voltage and everything.
And there's no Capsela cloud that you need to like activate. Like all these toys now that you get, like you can't, like in 2 years you won't be able to use them. What's nice about Capsela, it's like there's 2 plugs and you put voltage on it and it turns.
Do you mean Amazon Capsela's not listening?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I think a lot of the classic toys lend themselves perfect to robotic control because there was no cloud layer or other things. I mean, Capsela did make like an IR controller, I think, at one.
Yeah, and that's like the limit. And even that was like really late. That wasn't a recent thing. Like when I had it, that's all you got. It was the battery box and a couple longer things.
And one thing for educators and for parents and just for anyone who has to do a lot with a little, go on eBay and you can just buy sometimes buckets of Capsela for like $10. There's a lot of Rector sets. There's a lot of really old stuff, and all this stuff plugs into something like Crickit or whatever robotic.
They all use plain DC motors.
Yeah,
like
we made ours specifically to work with stuff like this because a lot of the stuff's going to end up in the landfill. But they're some of the best educational toys. So go on eBay and like I got a bag of Capsela, don't want it, for like $5. It was, the shipping was more than what it was.
So I picked up some other, like you were saying, I picked up one of the smaller, newer kits, and I wanted to make sure I used all these gear mechanisms are really cool. So this one moves the gears and has a little propeller. But again, it was one of the smaller kits. So, you know, building something that was, you know, recognizable and really cool was not as easy. Then some of the newer kits, they're put out around 2003, co-branded with Scholastic, the book people. And so I picked up a couple of those. This is the first one. I thought it was really cute because it was like Crickit, you know, we're all about Crickit. So so it moves, you know, but it was really there's basically no way to automate it. It's all the DC motors are encapsulated in this thorax.
Do you even put it together, as it comes assembled?
You know, you can the pieces come off, and you can make a praying mantis too.
You can kind of tell how times change. It's like before you would build the whole thing. Now they're like, okay, kids, you can move the wing position.
Basically, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, it's fun to pull off wings off insects and not be cruel.
Got dark.
So this one's a bust. I wanted to put like maybe wheels on it, but the legs don't even have the standard Capsela motor gears.
Man, that's rough.
The bust. Right. So the last one, real quick, is they had the Capsela weather kit, and I thought that would be really cool to integrate with some of the features of Circuit Playground Express, you know, with temperature and everything. But it was very, very basic. You have an anemometer, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't measure anything. There's a compass that actually measures something. It's kind of trapped in here. And then the temperature thing, it's one of those kind of 80s, 90s heat up ones, you know.
Yeah, fish tank.
It's all completely passive, huh?
Yes, definitely. And if you want to measure rain, there's a cup, but if you actually connect it, it's too high and it gets in the way of the wind. So again, if you really want to do something, it's more parts, and it really was meant more as kind of a very, very basic experimenter kit. So I wrote a guide in the Learning Center. It's up today. But basically, besides building the classic kits, I show the newer kits, but the summary on the newer kits was, if you really want to automate something, go for the classic Capsela, not these little Scholastic kits, because that's where you're going to have the fun. They have the gears, the motor, they have a little DC light. If you find it's burnt out, it's the old NE222 light bulb that Forrest Mims loved. So, but it's really great to be able to do this. I've got some of the Lego gear adapters for the TT motors. Next is to politely borrow older gear set Lego from my wife and take those adapters and put them on, and maybe come back here and show you something neat in the Lego world. And then I've showed Phil, I've got some erector set stuff too, which it all works. It's just really great that Crickit can support this.
Yay!
All right, thanks so much, Mike.
All right, it's a travel through time.
Okay, next up is TG-Techie. Hello, TG-Techie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What's up?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see you and hear you.
Ah, okay. So I've been building a tricorder. Use a Adafruit. and I was working on graphics library because I found support for text, but I ran out of RAM. And then, we released the M4 board, which was super awesome, but it was out of stock, so I was really sad. Instead, I just whipped up a EagleCAD board, and I finally got the parts from DigiKey, and I burned the bootloader with J-Link EDU. So just a quick update. More RAM, yay!
Yay!
Free
Okay.
files online on TG-Techie.
All right, sweet. Well, look how much you learned.
Well,
we purposely had it out of stock, so you'd have to learn how to use J-Links.
It's been really popular. Sorry, but also it's good. It means that we'll be around because we're selling these. How are you? How are you coding it up for the Tricorder?
Exclusively CircuitPython.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, that's fantastic. Well, you get a sticker no matter what. Email support at Adafruit, and then as you complete, can you come back because a CircuitPython Tricorder is kind of a big deal for us. Like it's kind of
That'd be cool.
It's a really nice project that we would really like to see.
Gladly.
Okay.
I've been asking a lot on Discord. Probably a little too much on Discord.
That's what it's there for.
Okay. Thank you. I'll keep you updated.
Fantastic. Yeah, just by the way, generally speaking, if someone said, what would be like a really cool project that someone did with like CircuitPython, I'd be like, well, if someone did a Tricorder, that'd be like fantastic. So thank you for doing that project.
Gladly. It's all up on GitHub.
Yay!
Okay, sweet.
All right. Hey, that's good for you, Scott and Mike, both big Star Trek fans. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Techniack.
All right, hello everybody. So this is actually a project I did a couple years ago that I pulled out of storage because I was cleaning up today. We were installing a bookshelf in our house, and we had to tear out all these old floor radiators that are built into the wall, and they've got these fins, which are basically just big heat shields to help dissipate heat, but they're made of aluminum. And we thought, well, why don't we melt them down? So we built a foundry, and we made these little ingots. And this is actually run through it 4 times. So there's very, very little slag and impurities in it. And then as a side project, we decided to do, backwards. So we decided to do a little J. And this is actually cast using foam insulation that goes in your wall, solid core foam. You can shape it, and then when you pour molten aluminum down in, it vaporizes it away. It's not very good to breathe, but you put it in sand, and then you pour in aluminum, and it vaporizes up and away, and then it leaves behind a casting.
Cool.
So our hope is now that we have the laser cutter, we're going to try and make like a big design and cast it in aluminum. So.
Nice
Oh
work.
wait, and then I do have one other thing here, hold on. This is what it actually looks like the first time it goes through, as it just comes out as these big like slag balls of aluminum oxidizes when you heat it, I'm pretty sure. So this has other impurities in it, which is why I was saying we make these ingots, is with this you can just drop it in and then you have pure aluminum ready to go.
Before and after.
Yep. So.
All right. Okay. Well, if you want a sticker, you know how to get a hold of us.
Yep.
All right. Good stuff. Keep coming back. Your projects are you're adding more materials and more things to your.
Yeah. I'm gonna be taking a 4 or 5 week hiatus because I'm working on a big project.
Okay. That's cool.
You'll see me in a few weeks.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, Blake, and then we'll go to Bill. Hey, Blake.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me. So this idea for a project started at least a year ago. I would give friends high fives, and I just think it's such a positive act. High five. It's positive energy. It's really good karma for the world. So I thought I wanted to do a project that would like take that even further. So I wanted to create a high five glove that not only could you give a high five, but then that high five could be tied into, say, a donation platform, so you could unlock funds with high fives. Okay, so that's the vision. And in my journey, of course, I found Adafruit to actually get the devices and products together. And then, yeah, so I can show you kind of what I've created in a sense. So it starts with a Maker GSM Arduino 1400. This is the board I'm using. That's that. And it's got a SIM card inside, a Soracom SIM card. And then we got a glove that's got a force sensor on it. Really easy, out-of-the-box solution. I definitely, when this is like more developed, I'll probably create my own with Velostat, try to get into that and learn that. But hey, to start, this is like ready to go. So yeah, essentially give a high five. And then thanks to the SIM card, that high five, it's going to be a little tough to see, but that high five is actually measured here through like the Soracom cloud. And then I can tie that in with, say, like Amazon cloud, and then tie that in with like a donation platform. So that's, yeah, that's a little bit of
Looks
the prime.
good.
That's an excellent. Are you going to, as you work on it more, can you come back and show us?
Dude, I would be pumped to continue the journey. This is just the start. And
High five.
Because no, we do high fives here. We do high fives, hug reports every Friday. There's one team member in particular. Like it's kind of the end of the week. We high five and I store it up. Like I even make this joke. I even said, oh, we should have a digital one in case you're not here that day, and I can just like deploy the high five because like some days you really need one.
Totally. And actually, you know, as I think about it, it could even like give you proper technique on the high five. You know, I think there's like the elbow rule, and you know, maybe it could be some sort of like I don't know how to combine.
Get a high five for doing good high fives. All right, well, keep coming back. We will give you a sticker, which is kind of like a high five. Email support at Adafruit, and just say you're on the show and tell, and we'll send you an as seen on the show and tell sticker. You could put it somewhere on there, and people could high five.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then before I forget, though. I wanted to shout out for Noise Bridge, which is this communal workspace in San Francisco, nonprofit, community run. I just found out about it like 2 days ago, and thanks to that community space, it helped kind of make my project. It definitely took it up a notch from just a dream to reality. So really thankful for
it's
that.
happening.
I can't do too much maker history. Where we put in a proposal for the Hope conference where I might be able to do that, but I introduced Mitch Altman to Lemoore.
Okay.
And that was before Mitch
That was like 12 years ago.
Yeah, this was 12 years ago.
Very long time ago.
And Mitch is like, my dream is to go around the world and, you know, maybe teach electronics. He only did the assembled TV Be Gone. And we did a kit together. And then later he was able to start Noise Bridge and then able to do his worldwide tour. So all this stuff is really connected.
Awesome.
You know, it's like full circle when we see stuff like this, because Mitch pretty much went around and now there's maybe thousands of hacker spaces because of his efforts. So
awesome.
This is always good to see. But anyways, that's just one small page in maker history. But it should be a landmark where the two of them got together. And at first he wasn't sure if he was going to do a kit around the TV Be Gone because he's like, oh, that might cut into my TV Be Gone assembled sales. But he took that risk and he did open source hardware, and that turned it into a whole entire career. And look at all the wonderful things that happened. But anyways, one page out of maker history.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for having me.
If you see Mitch, give him a high five.
Done.
Okay.
All right. Bill, take us out.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey.
Hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. So I've been busy. I actually went to NomCon and saw all those fine folks out there. I hope you guys got to watch from remote, because it was amazing. What Dorothy did and Andrew was amazing. Everybody was there. Like, if you want to meet people who are going to like help you do maker stuff, that was the place to be. It was awesome. So first, shout out to them. They did a great job. The We the Rosies was amazing. If you got to follow along, I know a bunch of people at Adafruit made the parts and stuff. So that was all great. Now I am doing something that is a little different. I am trying to help out somebody who's doing a, it is not called a bucket list item, but an item that he wants to get done. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen instead of sharing my pictures, because this, it's the wrong one. I need to, great. One sec, I got to move this thing to the other screen in order to share it, which is weird.
I know exactly what you mean.
This is what we do.
That is just horrible, isn't it?
You got to move that box to the other box so the box shows up on the box.
All right, let me share this. I'm going to have to move everything around. Sorry, hold on a sec.
You got 9 minutes, so make them count.
Oh, we're good. I can do it in that. All right. So can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a young man. He's about 32, 33. I'm not sure. He's a gentleman who has spinal muscular atrophy, and he is in here in Tampa. He's kind of a celebrity in the AT space. He's certainly one of the oldest and most vocal folks who has this awful disease. Basically, SMA will take all your ability to move as it progresses. And Mike is amazing. He's survived longer than most people, and he's thrived while doing it. If you have a chance, you can go to Lithium Creations. That is his not necessarily friendly for kids, but not that bad blog where he talks about what he does and what his life is like. There's also an episode of This American Life from Showtime where they kind of go over the life he and his wife, he and his mother, sorry, are living in that relationship. It's kind of remarkable to watch. But I noticed when I was reading his blog that he has this things to do list, and there's a whole lot of things on here that I can't help him with, right? Like, you know, stay in a dive hotel in New Orleans or New York. There are things in here that would be really hard with SMA. But there's one thing on here I could totally help him with, which was to fire a gun with a switch.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so glad you're positive about that because I was afraid I might have gotten a little bit.
No, that's cool.
Not at all.
It doesn't have to be like a pistol. Can be a Nerf gun. It can be a can. Can be fireworks.
Yeah. So let me show you.
That sounds like fun. Like you press a button.
Yeah. Here's the best thing. Like,
my screen.
Everybody makes something. Like it's all good. Like this is why we're here.
Yep. So all right. So this is what we created. All right. This is actually currently right next to me. So we went to a company called Ransom International, who makes gun holders. They're called rests for sighting in and perfecting the sights on guns, and they make them for the military and for police. We went to the ATF and we got approval and permission to automate a gun, which you should do if you're ever thinking about doing something.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
And, yeah, we got eyebrows raised everywhere. It was great. And then we went and we took a Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus and a very powerful servo. I had to go to a more powerful servo, and I couldn't buy that one from you. So you might consider stocking one of these digital high power servos.
Yeah.
Because it turns out the throw on this is pretty heavy. But I 3D printed some parts, and the mechanical part of this was actually not that bad. I mean, once we had this device, which Ransom was great. They actually they sent me Chuck Ransom's original rest that he used to get the patent back in the 60s to use for 6 weeks.
That is cool.
So they're going to put a plaque on this of all the folks who have used this, and it's going to be awesome. So on Saturday we are going to be shooting this at the range here. It has a camera, so you can sight right down. And let me show you. So here's what I learned about this. I learned something kind of important. Let me see if I can switch back for a second. So what I learned is that if you've got somebody who's either paralyzed or has motor issues or things like that, the one thing that they have figured out how to use universally is they all know how to use the web, right? So if you've got somebody like Mike, where Mike literally, you guys remember Becky and her friend did the SupBrowse project?
Yeah.
So literally the only muscle he can still activate enough for a switch to sense is his eyebrow, right? So quite literally, that's how he communicates. It's how he interacts with his world. That's a real challenge, except he already knows how to control a web browser. He's already got that. So if all else fails, put a web interface on it. So that's what we did. We took, that's the gun, sorry. We took we made a web interface running on that Raspberry Pi that has a live video feed that looks down the gun. And then he's got two buttons, and this is just for safety's sake. This one will activate the gun, and this one will fire it. That way it can't be fired kind of mistakenly. But he actually has the ability to use his current MacBook Air, which can connect to a hotspot and will be able to fire this gun. So it got me started, and so this will be Saturday afternoon if anybody wants to play along. It'll be Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll do it live, and then we'll post some videos of it later. But it got me started, and it got me thinking about the fact that I really like using the Raspberry Pi for web interfaces. You can do anything. You can run Apache. You can run anything you want, right? But it doesn't really work that well when you're trying to automate things, when you're actually trying to interact with them. So, and this is the other project that I think you guys will get a kick out of. It made me make one of these. So, let's see if I can actually share this with you. All right, so that should look like a Crickit. Yes?
Yeah. Wait, did you glue a Raspberry Pi on top? What's going on over there?
I made an adapter board for it.
Oh my goodness.
We have one coming soon. I like that you're already like scooping us. Like, of course.
And at the same time, I couldn't wait. So
that's fine.
It works awesome. And to be honest, I had this adapter board built for something else, and I'll kind of show you in a minute. But this totally works. Okay, so it's got the adapter board in here. The only thing I had to do was you don't actually send up 5 volts anywhere. So I had to grab 5 volts out of the screw terminal and run it up via USB.
Yep.
And that's it. I ran, so if you look at the board, see if I can show you this. That looks backwards to me, but I'm sure it looks fine to you, right? Right. So if you look carefully, it passes through 3 and 5 volts ground, and then it passes through over here, it passes through I²C, right? And then the way this board works is that the header for the Raspberry Pi goes up here. The 2 headers go on the outside ones, but in the middle, you actually have the ability, and here I've got one wired up for it. You've actually got the ability to run any jumpers you need, like to wire from pin 24 on the Pi to pin, A0 or whatever on the Feather. And so it works like a charm. It absolutely works great. I actually have a demo. I don't know if we have time to show it, but it will let you do things like, what's that?
We have to go because it's 8. But
you got if you can do it in 45 seconds, then we'll end real fast.
I can do it. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it later when we have time. But basically, this potentiometer updates a web page. It's got a thermometer that goes up and down. I'll make a video and post it. How about that?
Yeah, you came in with like 2 amazing
demos. This is epic.
I did send you a note.
Yeah. No, I know. I said, come on the show. Like, what else am I going to say? It's cool. Well, Bill, thank you so much, and thank you for always working on things that bring people together. Like,
yeah, no, I think this is going to be great this weekend, and thank you guys for making the stuff we need to make it work. Right?
Yep.
This is so cool.
Okay, that is show and tell this week. Thank you so much, TG, Techniack, Scott, Mike's dog, Blake, and Bill. Bill, if you could drop me a note with the URL for this weekend too. A couple of people are asked for it. I'll get it up online somewhere too.
Sure,
all right. That's the show and tell. Everybody, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for coming here and making this the best half an hour of our week every single week. See you on Ask an Engineer in like 30 seconds.
35 minus 35 seconds.
Bye.
Bye.